Hi everybody, hoping that everybody is good and well. I really am sorry because of the connection from last week and this week onwards that you are experiencing difficulty in listening to the lectures. With that, I am recording for week 11 of online journalism for today. So what I'm going to explain to you for this week around is to recap our minds back on the group assignment. Okay, so give me a second while I'll open the assignment. Okay, I'm opening the assignment. I'm not going to show my face because it's going to be lagging and it's really annoying if it's lagging more for you. So I'm going to show my screen only. Yeah. Okay, so I'll open back the module information. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so you are seeing the module information, diploma in communication, March 2020 semester, and let's go back to the group work, which is 10%. Okay, so to recap back, how are you guys doing as a whole? Everybody is doing great, especially on the blog postings side. As of today, everybody is getting 5% full for weekly blog posting, which is really good. The online tutorials, which is the that falls under the in-class work, everybody in the class managed to get more than 7% as of today, which is good. So I'm going to spend a little bit time on week 12 to explain to you what is happening with your marks and so forth. Okay, so and everybody is doing good as of today, so nobody's failing the class, so that's great, right? So we will talk about more on the group work, which is 10%. You have to create, as I mentioned before, you have to create a news blog and a website, whereby you have to create another new blog, another new site in WordPress, whereby you choose 10 to 15 articles, and then you have to do news video or podcast. One you should do by yourself, and the others you can take from the internet. Okay, so it's best that you have created the website, the account, or using a new email whereby everybody could access the website. That's number one, to upload their news and so forth. To choose a particular theme for your website is really important. And number three would be to when you have chose the team members that I say, like the chief editor, who will be the graphics editor and so forth, who will be the journalist and so forth, and when you have done that, you let me know in our WhatsApp group that we have created a few weeks back, right? So, as I mentioned right here, I want to mention right here whereby if you choose hard news for your news website, right? So the most important thing when you have chose the particular news, if you choose hard news, you do a summary, and if you choose a feature article from any website, you include your own opinion to that particular piece. Okay, so I will explain more in the WhatsApp group later on this week around on how would we do a summary for the hard news and that you have taken from a website, and the feature article, how would you do an opinion piece where you have taken one feature article and how would you include your opinion together with the article. So I'm going to explain that later on this week with another video. Okay, so that is for group work 10%. So please start doing the group work and never delay. Okay, so that is for final project assignment, which is group work. Okay, let's close that. Okay, let's close that and talk about a little bit on what I'm going to touch on today, which is Multimedia journalism. Okay, multimedia journalism. Can I make the screen bigger? Can I make the screen bigger? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna make the screen bigger. Yeah. Okay. Media journalism. Yeah, people. It's important that when we talk about online journalism as a whole, multimedia journalism comes in a context whereby it is a storytelling on the web whereby as an online journalist, you will create multimedia stories for the web and combine elements of print and broadcast journalism. So when we talk about online journalism, as I mentioned before, it's a combination of both print and TV news that you have seen through television and things like that. So the online journalism is a combination of news platforms from newspapers to TV into one platform whereby in the internet you can create videos, you can do textual news stories and so forth. So in the internet you can do almost anything. And when we talk about online journalists, normally we call them as mobile journalists, whereby they do more than write, which they need to record with a camera or a digital audio recorder. And let's go back to the past, whereby in 1969, during the Cold War, the Pentagon created a network to exchange data and text messages between Hawking mainframe computers. So, as I mentioned before, I think last week around, right? When we talk about the internet per se, it started off with the United States. And when we talk about the United States, how do how do how do they utilize the internet is to protect whoever wants to like hack into the US system, they can protect it through the internet and so forth. So to exchange data between you know superpower countries and things like that. So that is how internet and how U.S. government control the works of the internet to gain solicit information. Okay, and when we talk about from print to pixel, so a lot of what you see on the internet today is a shovelware. Okay, that is a term where text, photos, audios, and or video that is taken directly from other media such as newspapers and TV stations and being put onto a website. Okay, when we talk about smooth sailing for service, when we create a website, it's important to choose a bright color, bold type, capital letters to actually capture the reader's attention, and a different typeface for headline, and a different typeface, a different font for your articles as well. Write a lively, interesting headline. That's the most important thing, and add a summary that below the headline. So, for example, the headline would be the topic of the news. Write like 2 3 word summary that would be the wholesome the whole in 2 3 words, what is this news story about? So that would be a summary deck. So if you could actually explain to the readers under the headline there is a summary deck, that would be great. But it is optional for a journalist to write a news. You need to create a headline only. To do a summary deck, that is an optional thing to do. Okay, and then use bullets or numbers to highlight important points or list items, and add a juicy pull quote to a story. So anything, as I mentioned to you before, to create a new story, or to type a news story, right? You have to interview a person to make sure that your news story is credible. So if that person has an awesome statement that you can could add into your story, you put that. Yeah. And when we talk about a pull-out quote, it is a sentence or a quote the story that is pulled out in a larger typeface. So sometimes, if you have the particular interviewee or the source itself of the particular news that you want to write on has an amazing statement, sometimes those quotations can also be a headline. Okay, and when we talk about online journalism, multimedia journalism, okay, as we go through 10 weeks of online journalism, and you guys have done this in your continuous assessment of weekly blog posts falls under participatory journalism, whereby it involves readers to include their opinions as as much as they can when they read the news. So sometimes when we talk about bloggers, people who are bloggers would want to create their own space themselves to express their opinion accordingly. Bloggers normally they like to write and they like to share information. So what you see in the internet where people post status or tweet, those are not bloggers. Bloggers would be people who have an account of a blog. Okay, so continuing on to the story structure, as we go through we go through week by week the hard news story online practice with the style of inverted pyramid, and it is important when we talk about screen size chunks. Okay, when you do a particular news, especially on the website, it has to be fitted into the laptop screen of a particular a standard laptop screen. So you could not write too much in an online news portal as well. You have to be compact. Yeah, and as we have learned through week 9, I think week 9, week 8, I can't remember, where we talk about online summaries, story summaries, whereby it's a type of link, short description on the homepage are usually topped by a headline and followed by 20 to 40 words describing the story that readers will see if they click on the summary. Okay, when we talk about summaries itself, especially in Malaysia, we don't practice that. To practice a story summary. Normally, we tell the news stories in the online platforms in 4 to 6 paragraphs or even 8. But in the United States, there are news organizations like Wall Street Journal, New York Times, they practice story summaries. Yeah, and to do a story summary, like I mentioned to you before, you have to plan it and then summarize the whole information of the story into one sentence, just like a lead. So, more or less, it's the same thing. Okay, I want to go through a little bit on sidebars. When you see a particular news website online, okay, whereby if you go, for example, to the website of Fox News and you see, a couple of information and news stories right here, right? So those would be information boxes or what we call sidebars, a headline, pull quote, cut line, sidebar, or other design elements that is used with the main elements draw readers into the story. Sometimes when you read a particular, when you go into a news website, a news portal, it's important that you, when a reader reads it, they also can have links to other relevant news stories that they would like to read. So, for example, if you're reading on Donald Trump right here, right? You have other information, other stories on Donald Trump on the right hand side right here. So this is what we call in online journalism as sidebars. Yeah, and as I mentioned before to you, that we need to do a multimedia story. Normally, if we go in class, I will make sure that you guys know how to do a storyboard of a story before you produce a multimedia news package. So before we get into that, what is a multimedia story? Let's get into what is a multimedia news website. So I want to show you right here whereby it's a YouTube link of a multimedia news package. A multimedia news package where um, you can include the news with audio, with pictures, and so forth. Okay. For example, right here, I'm gonna click here. The headline of the news story: Health DG Malaysia seeks to open its borders to 6 green countries. So when we talk about an online news portal itself, some news they accompany it with video because it's really important. Some news in the news portal they don't have news paragraph. They think it's too much of a space. They only do video, so it's entirely up to the editorial team. Editorial team would be the editor, the journalist, which will decide what kind of things that will be put on the website itself. Okay, so for example, this is a multimedia news package. I'm going to open this link right here.
Monday.com is the project management
Okay, here
platform my team and I use to keep our work
the
moving
audio.
forward, anywhere.
Hi, Dato. Isan from PG Press. Senior Minister of Defense just announced they will quickly.
Okay, so this is a press conference of the health director general, where he on a weekly basis he will always inform he will do a press conference like we did in a couple of weeks ago on myself. So this is a press conference whereby he would like to give information out to the public, so the mass media or people who are in the journalism industry will cover the particular information. So, for example, there's a question right here.
Green zone country list issued by
Okay,
MOH.
so when you do a press conference, when you do a multimedia, this is what we call for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, this is a multimedia news package. So when you go and to a press conference where you have visuals you can record, yeah, uh, as in a multimedia news package, you need to put additional photos or videos, related videos to the news story itself. You could not just record the press conference one whole shot. You have to include relevant videos or even photos if you could not find videos to back up your information of the story itself. So let's say this is
Can we have the list and then when is the effective date
So
of
this is where the title of the news story is Malaysia seeks to open its borders to 6 green countries, and the most relevant video would be when you want to open your border. The most relevant video is to have a picture of the airport, whereby people will come into our country because they feel safe and the COVID-19 is already, slowing down and things like that. So choose when you do a multimedia news package, it's important to choose relevant materials according to your news story.
this green zone country list?
Mind you, when you do when you choose you have a recording of the press conference and you choose a particular one, another relevant video to accompany your multimedia news package, you have to have a background narration for every time in the news package itself. Don't leave it empty. Okay.
New Zealand is in the green zone list, but Singapore have hundreds case reported daily,
Okay,
and then
see
even
like
New
that.
Zealand have new cases. So is it too early to have our
Okay,
borders
here
partially open
the
now?
question.
Right. We are in the process of discussion,
And
and
the
more
Director
importantly, we look
General will
into the way we
answer
handle this COVID-19.
the
First is
question
we
by the
introduce
journalist.
MCO,
Remember,
Multiple-Stay at Home.
always when you want to, you have the visuals right here. Always in editing process to put the full name and the position of, of, of the source at the first part and its position. So remember, when we talk about a source or the person who gives information to the news story, it's important that you put the name first and the position, because the name owns the position, okay, not the position owns the name. Okay.
And make sure that we can control the surge of the COVID-19 infection. But that is an artificial environment. So we Then we introduce
Okay,
recovery SEO.
continuing on to
Recovery
watching.
SEO, we want the every SOP in terms of example green zone
See,
quarantine.
if you can
Malaysian
see,
returnees coming back,
he
also
continues on
screening
talking.
quarantine, whether quarantine in our quarantine center or at home. Now the next step is what is our planning is that if we want to open up our
Continues
border,
on
how
talking.
are we going to open up our border?
And
So
there
we
is
need to
another
look
particular
into the
video on
cases.
the
Green cases, for
relevant
example,
information
green zone.
to back up
Likewise, when
the
we
what is
looking into the
talking
green
in
zone
the
in
news
this case,
story.
so there's no restriction now. You can travel. So when we look into the green zone, for example, or green country, then we call it a bubble, a travel bubble. Then we need to decide if we can actually
And
allow.
coming back
So the
to
6
the
countries we have
particular
identified, we are in
recording
the
in the
process of
press
negotiation and
conference.
even
So
discussion.
this is how you do a multimedia news package whereby wherever you go and interview a person, might it be you interview a person, for example, from the LGBT community. Let's say you interview a person from the LGBT community, and you have a visual of that particular person. So what you want to do is throughout him talking, you want to include more videos or other photos that is relevant. So that is what we call a multimedia news package. Okay, so it can vary to it can be created in a lot of styles, and it's entirely up to the journalist to decide on what way he or she would like to create uh, his or her multimedia news package. So this is important that to include one multimedia news package on your own to for your newsroom assignment. Okay, this is really, really, really important. Okay, coming back to the particular PowerPoint just now. Okay, so if you can see right here, I'm not going to go on full screen. To do and produce a multimedia story, you have to first to find a fresh idea. Okay, you want to do what kind of news? So you find a fresh idea, you focus on your topic, you have to plan and research before you want to do a multimedia news package. Okay, sometimes when you are already a journalist for 2 3 years, you can actually create a multimedia story just like that in a few minutes. Yeah, so it takes a lot of practice, and especially for beginners on the fourth step, it's really important to have a storyboard whereby you want to sketch what kind of visuals that you want to take or produce in a particular news story. So, for example, you have an idea, you want to interview a person. So on your storyboard, you just sketch as like a statement to just lay out what you want for your particular news story. Okay, then the fifth step will be report, interview, observe, and edit and revise as well. So in case the audio is not clear, you have to include subtitles and to accompany where the audio is not clear. So it will be much more comprehensive when you publish your particular video. Okay, and always edit. Edit is so easy, whereby you can edit, use Windows Movie Maker or the most basic editing to don't like if you don't want to go professional, don't go and hassle yourself by saying I want to, because of the online journalism such I have to buy editing software. No, you can use the most simplest platform online and produce your multimedia news package. Okay, so it's pretty simple. So that would be for my lecture for multimedia journalism. Okay, a bit on that. So I'm gonna share with you right now a little bit more on what is RSS. Okay, this is for your own knowledge and for final exams, just remember the uh, to remember the particular what is RSS. Okay, So when we talk about RSS itself, RSS will be a web feed that allows users and application to access updates to website in a standardized computer readable format. So when we talk about RSS, it's a combination of links in a particular website. So more or less, RSS is a news aggregator. It's very technical to actually to go through it. It's a lot of technical. We have to go one step, two step, and three step. I'm just going to explain it very simple to you. Okay, news aggregator. Okay, let's check 7 news aggregator websites that you could check out. Okay. Okay, so news aggregator would be a combination of where one particular website takes a lot of platforms of news and combine it in their particular application and so forth. Okay, so content. What is a content aggregator site whereby it collects information from all over the web and posts it in one location for visitors to access? So if you can see through MSN or when you open your Yahoo email, right? You can see a lot of information that has been collected from different websites. So that is what we call a news aggregator. Okay, so I'm going to show you what is the best news aggregator. We have Feedly, we have Panda, we have TechMeme, we have Metacitric, we have Science News as well, we have the Morning News, we have Pocket. Okay, so and to create an aggregator site, to create a news aggregator in your WordPress, it's not you don't need to do that for your group assignments, but I'm just going to tell you next week onwards if the connection is good, I need to do it live. Okay, so that you guys can actually see it live as well. So if you have questions, it's much more easier for me to show back and forth how you need to do it. So the most important thing for you to know is RSS is a really okay. What is RSS? It is a really simple syndication where one particular website syndicates all the news into one platform. I'm going to show you Yahoo, right? So Yahoo Malaysia News and Lifestyle. You can see right here, this is a form of okay, it's a form of a news aggregator where they compile from Yahoo TVC to IKEA Malaysia to Yahoo Sports C, H Live in Asia, all this particular information from South China, Morning Post, from Malay Mail, from another Malay Mail again into Yahoo platform. So this is what we call news aggregator. Yahoo has this, MSN also has this. That is the most simplest thing that I can actually share with you. Okay, so that would be for RSS. Okay, I hope this is clear so far. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to myself. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so I want to apologize to each and every one of you because of the bad connection. So I'm gonna really solve this as soon as possible. If not, we continue on to do the pre-recorded lectures for this week onwards. I free all of you from doing a tutorial work. So give me some time to finalize your marks, everybody's marks for this week. I'm going to free yourself from any work and continue on to do your news story, which is due on what date? Please remind me. Do you guys still remember what is the deadline? I'm going to remind you later on. What is the deadline for our news story assignment, which you have to do an extensive paragraphs of news writing. Okay, and please start navigating work in your group news website. It's very important. And with that, that is a wrap for today. I really am sorry again for the connection problem and connection issues, and thank you very much for listening to my lecture and explanation for today. Thank you very much, people. Please do your work. Please do the news story really well. Please send the proofs of interview to my email, and and keep me updated. Okay, so I'll catch up with you guys in the WhatsApp group later on today. And thank you very much for spending time to listen to the lecture. Thank you very much, people. Bye bye.